Good morning, team. It is day 4 of 5 on week 2. I'm David from CrossFit Cirencester, aka Disco.
And I'm Anna, and thank you for joining us again today. So today, they'll be happy to know there actually isn't, I don't think, any actual physical conventional squat, is there, in our workout?
No, there's a single leg one, but that's,
yeah.
That's by the by.
Yeah, so today we are going to be focusing a lot on the single leg, or some people call it a pistol squat. It's a little bit harder, isn't it? A little bit challenging.
Yeah, it's definitely those kind of unilateral movements we talked about before.
Yes.
When you start working through just one side of your body, obviously it makes it a lot more challenging. But it means you can do fewer reps. So instead of doing loads of like hundreds and hundreds of squats, it means you can do tens.
Absolutely, and we need to make sure that we are balancing out our left and right sides, because sometimes you will find that you do have one side stronger than the other, or actually by doing and performing these exercises, you can highlight if there is a certain problem that you may need to work on with mobility. Yeah, so it is a brilliant movement to include in your training plan, hence why we're doing it today.
And hence the tops.
Yes.
So we're wearing our Hence t-shirt today. Thank you to Luke from Hence for giving us help us with all our nutrition up at the CrossFit Cirencester. He makes a very, very good greens drink, some zinc and CBDs and Omegas. So they're really great products, so check him out.
Right, so do you explain what we're doing today?
So the workout today, we're going to go through and do a little warm-up with you guys for 3 rounds. We'll then go through some actual skill work today, looking at that pistol squat, that single leg squat. So we'll take you through that step by step and show you the progressions to developing a full pistol squat. If you get one of those today, massive kudos to you guys.
Yeah.
and then we'll obviously hit the Metcon. The Metcon today is going to be an AMRAP.
No, it's an M on today.
That's not
all right.
AMRAP at all, it's actually an M on today, sorry.
So it's each minute on the minute we will be performing a certain move. So it just gives you enough time to have a little bit of recovery before we move into a second movement.
And our quote today, stand by, why be moody when you can shake your booty? That makes Anna laugh.
Right, should we get warm?
Let's get warm. 3 rounds.
So we have elevated squats to start with. So David's going to demonstrate on a box. So if you have a step or just something that's slightly higher than the floor, that would be perfect. I will demonstrate if you don't have any of that kit.
So I'm going to do the first rep facing you guys, and I'll turn around and do it from the side so you can see what's happening. I'm taking a step onto the box, and it's up and down rather than forwards and backwards.
And all I'm doing is taking some of the depth out of what we would do in a lunge. So it's an elevated lunge position. So this is your option if you don't have something to do your squats on. We are doing 20 repetitions, guys.
So using a step or use a lunge. Sometimes we get our guys on our Zoom sessions to run up their stairs, taking 2 steps at once on the way up, 1 step at a time on the way down, making sure they hold their banisters so they're nice and safe.
That's 20 for me.
That's ish. That's movement number 1.
So then we move into our Cossacks. We have done these quite a few times already. So shall I go sideways?
Yep. So the Cossack squat, you can work to a depth that feels safe again for you. Turn the toe towards the ceiling, lower yourself down, transition to the leg.
We're doing 10 reps, guys, 10 repetitions.
And I want to talk about all week, keeping that chest as upright as possible. The lower you go, the harder it becomes. Again, if you do this want extra support, you could hold a chair or your dining table.
Brilliant. Then we have our deck squats.
So a deck squat, we've actually done it already in your reverse burpees. Anna's using a kettlebell, which gives you a little bit extra momentum to help you up. I'm going to go without any equipment. So it's hands overhead, knees out, lower self to the floor, kick down hard, nose to toes, stand up. Now we're aware that some of you won't be able to do that. So you guys can use a seat, sit down, feet up, and then stand up.
Let's do 5. Mike. Should have done that before.
So the reason we're using that exercise is it allows our legs to work through a long range of motion, preparing our knees for their pistols coming up later on.
We're starting again.
Round 1.
So we're doing 2 rounds. So back to your elevated squats or your high lunges with me.
So remember, I'm working up and down.
So we had quite a hard day yesterday. So we're taking some of those movements out that really raise our heart rates today and working more on the skill.
Again, you'd expect that in obviously the normal program, that we have days where we'll push you really hard and days that are more about utilising that time for
skill work.
Yep. Even just sometimes it's just a recovery day.
Lost
We spend
count
the
again.
whole session mobilising.
Cossacks.
And again, watch my knees track over little toe, chest stays up.
Deck squats. Out of the way. Do without the weight.
So if you have a small step, a shallow step, you could utilise that, which makes it a little bit easier.
Five.
One more for me.
Okay.
And if you're wondering why we're doing this funny thing with our arms, that's basically to stop us from over-rotating, so you're not going toe at the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 rounds, all done.
All done. Moving on to our skills.
So the skill word today, we're going to focus on that pistol squat. A pistol squat is a single leg squat. So we're going to take you through a couple of progressions, starting with the negative stuff.
Yep. Lowering.
So Anna's going to do demonstrations. If you guys watch Anna for the moment, we'll talk you through it. Then you guys will do it at the same time as me. So Anna's going to start with herself, one foot out in front, lowering herself onto the chair. Going to change legs, exactly the same thing. So Anna still has contact with the ground. Foot comes up as she lifts herself up.
Okay.
So if you have a few reps of those, you go at the same time as me.
So nice and controlled, working on the lowering phase. So going from standing to a seated position. So this everyone should find quite manageable. This is quite the manageable phase of a single leg pistol squat. Brilliant. So now we have the reverse, don't we?
Yep. So now we're going to work on the way up. So Anna's going to work one leg down and one leg up. Changing legs. So we talked about that muscle contraction, so we had eccentric, when a muscle lengthening on the way down. Now we're doing that concentric, when we're coming up.
Right, your turn. So you can use both legs to lower yourself down at this stage. Do 2 legs down, and then single leg up. Because we're focusing on that drive up, so we want to save all our energy to try and develop strength to drive from the bottom position, which is the hardest position when you're in a pistol squat or a single leg squat. See, David's had to using his arms as well to gather some momentum.
So I tend to counterbalance. My legs are quite heavy. So I've got one foot out on the side, I might just counterbalance the opposite side to help me up.
So we have our curtsies next. So this option allows you to work with your own range without having to use support from anything, and you're not having to take a leg off the floor. So it's a brilliant option, isn't it, if you're worried about your strength level.
Those joined for the Tom Moore workout. Some of you would have done this in the Captain Tom Moore workout as your scale for the pistol.
So it's just like if you're doing a curtsy for the royal family. That's all I'm doing. Placing one leg behind the other, and I'm sitting down. David?
So I'm doing the same thing, but I'm going to slide my foot on the floor. So exactly the same thing. I slide my foot on the floor, so I never actually rest on my toe.
So this is your turn, so you should be practicing this.
And again, mindful of that knee. Notice my knee comes outside, little toe.
Now, if you want to, you can do this holding a chair for a little extra support. That is absolutely fine at this stage. Some of you might find that the depth going that low is quite challenging. So until we build your strength up, you can use a chair. So we've only got one option left, the full thing.
Yeah, so I think we'll try the full thing. Is all the way down, all the way up. And I'll show you a little bit of an extra stuff just in case. So all the way down, all the way up. The lower the object you're sitting onto, the harder this becomes.
That simple.
So I think my little box is probably a little bit lower than Anna's chair.
It is. So like David said, the lower the object, the harder the movement becomes. So that is your first progression. If you can do this safely with a high chair, then your next progression will be to try and sit on something a little bit lower. Then, if you can actually perform this movement with not sitting on anything.
So there's a little twist we can do here. We can do something where we hook our foot behind. I'm simply hooking my foot behind, whoop, lower myself down, and pick myself up.
So you can see it takes quite a lot of balance and coordination to perform this movement. It is not just about strength. So there are a lot of factors and a lot of progression to work towards being able to do a successful pistol squat.
So a full one.
If you want to.
So full one's exactly the same thing, foot out in front, lower myself to the floor, and lift myself up.
Well done. So we have, I hope you will use some of these progressions and keep practicing them until you can do the full thing. But we will be using one of these versions in your workout in a minute.
Yeah, this is like a pinnacle skill. If you can manage a single leg pistol or a pistol squat, that's very, very impressive. Well done, team.
And it takes a lot of practice. So please, don't worry if you can't do the hard scale first. Right, so we explain the workout today.
Yes.
So, like we said, it's each minute on the minute for 12 minutes. And you are going to have just 3 movements today. So, your first one being what we just practiced. You will choose one of those movements and perform 12 repetitions within a minute. Once you finish 12, you get to rest until the second minute.
So ideally you want to choose a level that gives you at least 15 seconds worth of rest.
Absolutely.
If you're doing up to the minutes, it's going to be pretty challenging for you to maintain this workout.
That's why we're not pushing you to do the full thing today, because we'd rather you got the technique right today.
Most definitely.
And use that and perform 12 repetitions. Then in minute 2, we move on, don't we? So we've got the prone swimmers. Want me to demo?
I'll demo these. So swimmers, we've touched a little bit on the arch positions and how that works. The prone swimmer, imagine I'm holding a kickball out in front and I just simply kick my legs.
Kick his legs. So you were performing 30 repetitions. So every kick from one leg is 1 repetition. So once you finish 30 in that second minute, then you get to rest for the remaining time until minute 3. Now minute 3, we have a challenge. We have a single arm plank. You will perform 20 seconds on your right arm and 20 seconds on your left arm. Then you get to rest for the remaining 20 seconds.
So those are the maths. We've worked that out probably quickly. 20, 20, 20.
It's challenging. So shall I demo?
Yeah, let's give it a go. So again, there's lots of different scales to this one today. Anna's going straight in for the full thing. Single arm plank.
It'll be 20 seconds here, 20 seconds. If that is too much, you can perform a full plank, but you will hold this for 40 seconds.
My nemesis.
Yes. Are we ready, guys? So this one, it does allow you to really, really focus on your technique because we're giving you some recovery between the movements. So we can't stress enough, today is really about practicing your skills.
Yeah, most definitely. We've had a hard 3 days so far, so it's definitely a skill day today. Nevertheless, headband on, ready to go.
Let's go. Let's get the clock started. So we've got 12 minutes.
Again, as always, the clock will count down on those minutes. Stand by, athletes.
Right, so your first movement is 12 pistols, then we just rest. David, do you want to do this one?
Yep, I'll start with these ones.
So David is opting for lowering himself onto the lower box today. Now you can see it really does challenge your balance and coordination. It takes a lot of concentration.
That's 8.
Brilliant. Got one more?
Last one.
So that's perfect. That's given you 30 seconds rest.
Nice.
So we prepare for minute 2 is where we move on to those swimmers. So shall I do the swimmers?
Yep. So you can utilise this rest period now. There's 20 seconds left. So hopefully you guys will be finishing your pistols by now. You should have said about 15 seconds worth of rest. So Anna's popping her hands out in front, legs out behind. Make a bit of space so you can see her feet. Holding that kickboard, kicking the legs. Notice it's from the hip, it's not from the knee. So I expect there's lots of you desperately back in the swimming pool or back into the lake. That was 30, well done. So that was a short one, only 15 seconds worth of work. Said about a second of rest.
Yeah.
Spot on.
So if you found that quite easy, what you can do is maybe increase the repetitions to 40 or 50 reps if you have finished it in a good time frame.
As always, that kind of movement, if you slow it down, it becomes harder anyway. So if you take time...
So I think round 2, I'll do double. I'll do 60.
Excellent.
60. So we've got those planks coming up. So we've got 20 seconds left and right. Do the full thing today?
Yeah, we'll do the full thing. So everyone knows me, the plank is probably my nemesis.
Get ready, David.
I'm standing by.
It's talking to get out of there. 4, 3, 2, okay. 20-second hold. So what you want to try and do is make sure you're still not over-rotating in the hips, even though we are only using single arm. That's it. Oh, the shake is real.
It is real for me in this one.
Okay, nearly there, 5 seconds and then we get to change arm. And switch, so now you're going to switch arms. Everyone switch arms. You might find that one arm is stronger than the other, or you find it easier on one side. This is why we do this type of training. We really need to make sure that we are balancing the body out.
And I'm making sure that my shoulder is over my fingers.
Absolutely. 3, 2, and rest. Well done, guys.
Woo.
So we've got 20 seconds rest. We start again for those pistols, so I'll switch.
Yep. So which option are you going for?
Lower box.
Low box. Up and down.
Up and down.
5 seconds, athletes. Here we go. Stand by. So again, quality is the key.
So I'm going to do 6 straight after each other.
So Anna's not switching legs. She's going all on one side.
So all this is doing
away.
is, and as the box is moving, I'm getting a bit scared of that. That's the thing. So I can definitely notice a difference now on this leg. It's my weaker leg, and you can see that it's having to work really hard.
And again, don't be frightened if you've got an imbalance. As long as it's not a massive imbalance, this is why we do this isolateral stuff. So iso meaning single side, lateral meaning sides.
I actually found that harder than the real one.
And a real pistol.
Because you can use a bounce.
Yeah, so we typically on our pistols, we'll rebound from the bottom of the pistol, so you get like that cushion, spring back up.
So remember, I'm doubling the reps because we finished that quite quickly. So David's going to do 60, but you only have to do 30. Go. So like David said, we want it to initiate from the hips, not just from the knees. Really good. Swimming
like
along and not getting anywhere.
It's exactly the same as in the pool.
How are you doing? So that's about right now. So you're getting about 30 seconds rest. So if you can, up those reps if you finished quite soon and you found that quite easy. Thanks.
Plank time.
I don't mind these.
Just have heavy bones, I think that's what it is.
Heavy veins.
Athletes, you have 10 seconds. Stand by. So Anna's on the plank.
Getting ready.
In 5.
I can go straight into it though.
3, 2, 1. So again, we're just double checking the shoulders over the fingers. We're trying to make sure there's not that shooting behind, that we keep that weight over the hand. In 20 seconds. 2, 1. Let's switch sides. Exactly the same thing on the sides.
So again, I find this like my leg easier than the other side. So my right side is a lot stronger.
If you want to make it slightly more challenging in terms of balance, just bring your feet close together. That will make it a lot harder. So the wider base, the more chance to stable it will be.
And rest, guys. Take your rest. So we're halfway through. We've got 2 more rounds of everything to do.
Okay. So I think we just show the curtsy this time.
If you want to.
So we'll show you the curtsy style this time, so you've got the lower scales.
So you're back to your pistol squat.
In 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. So 12 repetitions. So definitely a lot stable in this position. How are we doing? How many reps?
8.
Coming up to 30 seconds, is that right?
Last one.
Well done. That's good.
So again, there's loads of other progressions we have for pistols that we use when we're training at CrossFit Cirencester. Lots of stuff on the box using posts.
Might want to move your legs, David.
Get out of the way for you swimmers. But again, this is nice basic stuff. Keep you guys moving. 10 seconds, team, 10 seconds. So Anna's gonna hit 60 again, Anna?
Yep.
60 swimmer kicks. So a couple of weeks ago we talked about the hollows and the arches. We did some alligator rolls. This was part of that little routine. I think that was week 2, maybe?
Yeah.
So workout 2. We're doing it weekly. Again, keeping those legs nice and long.
It is quite funny movement.
That was 25 seconds. 35 seconds of rest, Anna. Easy.
Short legs.
So more planks.
Yeah.
25 seconds, team. 25 seconds back in that plank again. As I said a moment ago, if you want to do both hands, you can do both hands. If you want to try one elbow, you can try one elbow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously shorten the leaves up makes it a little bit easier for you guys.
Your arms are getting tired. Absolutely. You can come down to the elbows at any point. Get ready? You doing this one?
Yep. So I'll demo from the elbow.
So get ready, guys. Let's plank. So as David said, he's just come on to the elbows. If you're finding that your wrists are starting to get tired or it just feels a little bit too much, this is the lower scale, the lower option. Really good, guys. 4 seconds, 3, 2, and let's change. Change arms. 20 seconds.
So I'm tilting my butt forwards. So I'm squeezing my abs as tight as I can.
Nearly there. 10 seconds to go. Nearly there, David.
Oh, my legs are shaking there.
And rest. Everyone rest. One more round. No, we've got pistols again. Yeah,
Pistols
is this
again,
our second last round? No.
It is penultimate round. Oh, final round.
I'm getting confused. Yeah, it is.
4 rounds each. Or 4 rounds in total, so it's 2 rounds each in each movement.
So I'm going to alternate this time, but I'm going to use the chair because that was a bit slippy for me.
The chair's going to be slippery as well.
No, I find it easier on the chair.
So the chair's a little bit easier, obviously it's much higher up. So the range of motion is quite not so severe. And we could use that hook the foot behind. And pistol squat. You can use sitting leg down, both feet up, as Anna's doing. Or 2 feet up,
Oh.
1 foot down, is that right?
Yeah, so you can either alternate or you can do 6 and 6. I find doing 6 on one side is a lot harder than alternating because you're building up that fatigue. So if you want that extra challenge, do them in consecutive reps. Right, swim, you're back down to swimmers. 60.
I'm gonna swim in a different lane this time and go this way.
Okay. Get ready, guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, let's swim. So kick, 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 kick. So again, we're generating it from the hips, not the knees. And you should really be able to feel this here as well in your back. Nearly there. You must be coming to the end. You're a slow swimmer.
And relax.
And relax. Well done, guys. One more to go.
Finish up the plank team. Plank to finish up. Then into our cool down. So 15 seconds on the clock. We're very close now, nearly there.
Nearly there.
So I hope you can tell our breathing is not quite as laboured today.
Today, yeah.
Yes, there's quite hard work. Here we go, team. Final time, isometric stuff. Shoulders over fingers.
Am I
20 seconds.
okay? Am I twisting? Am I
You're a little
okay?
rotated to the upper bodies, but we can balance it out. Looking good. That's why I like to put my hand out to the side, because it makes sure that my shoulder stays as close to level I can manage.
Switching.
And we'll switch arms. The final time today.
Should have probably shown this sideways, shouldn't I? So you can see what your hips will try and do.
So I stand behind that, you can see probably slightly better. So again, we've got a nice straight line from the ankles through to the shoulders. We're not sagging in the middle, not lifting your bottom up, and you can relax. Well done, team. Well done.
Yeah, that was good.
Let's find the remote control and stop the clock.
Yeah, got it.
So a little cool down. So we've been through foam rollers this week. We've been through using the ball this week.
Yeah, we have.
We're going to go through some more static stretches now to finish up. So most of us today have been working through that hips. So we're going to do a bit of work on the hips today. So we'll start off with something called a pigeon stretch. So pigeon stretch, we're going to pop your ankle on the floor and your knee on the floor. Just again, be careful of this angle at your knee. Some of you may need to do this from a box. I'll show you that from a box in a second. And if you stick in that position, I'll do it from the box and you can see it from the box.
Sure.
So if you have a chair or a box or a coffee table or a footstool, do the same stretch on here. This makes it a little bit easier. So I'm simply holding this position, dropping my hip down. So it's the stretch comes from my hip being low towards the floor. And I feel this in this buttock. Same place for you.
Yeah.
And the closer you go to the floor, the more severe the stretch. So we're trying to get this back hip down to the ground. Let's switch legs. Same thing on the sides. So shin on, lowering my hip down,
Yeah.
creating my stretch. Again, always be careful of this knee joint. Again, roughly a minute's worth for you guys. We're going to get about 45 seconds for us to change exercises. And then relax. So I know this next stretch facing you guys, I'm probably going to do it side on. I'm going to turn my toes out and my knees out. Go as wide as I can in my base.
Actually, I'll do it this way.
So I'm going to try it side on so you can see what's happening with the feet. So the toes are pointing perpendicular to the body. I start my hands in front and very slowly rock back onto my elbows. That creates a stretch. If that's too easy, I can pop up, slide my hands further back and rock further back. So I feel this in the groin.
That's an intense stretch.
There's a good stretch.
Very intense. Just be careful with that one.
Slowly coming up. So again, as the stretches, they shouldn't ever be painful, just working to a range
Yeah, absolutely.
that creates a stretch. I'm going to finish up with one more. I'm going to pop, coming your way, my arm up to the side.
I'll let David just do
I'm going to roll over. I get my nice stretch then through my quad and through my abdomen from doing those planks today, and into my hip. So it's a bit like the scorpion we do in our normal warm-up. I'm just holding it today. I'm going to switch sides.
Yeah, switch sides.
Sorry.
It's all right, carefully.
Exactly the same thing on the other side.
You see how David's shoulder is staying on the floor. Adding that rotation, you're feeling that everywhere.
Yeah, so
really,
this is going to be literally from my fingertips into my forearms, my biceps, shoulders,
shoulders,
pectorals,
into the back.
abdominals, my hips, and obviously my quads, my thighs.
Well done.
That concludes our session.
Well done, guys.
You get a high five. You guys get high fives.
So
Well
as
done,
you
team.
can see, when we work on our skills, the tempo comes down a little bit to give you time to practice and really home in those skills and become a really good technician. And what we've tried to do this week is make sure that your programming is sensible for every day. We are not trying to kill you every day.
Yeah.
We are waiving our
Anybody
training.
can program really hard
Yeah.
workouts every single day, and that's not actually going to benefit you at all. We want to make sure the programming is smart, that it's actually, you can do the workouts
Yeah.
and get a benefit from doing it.
There is a reason you are doing what we're asking you to do every day. So if you follow the 5-day program, you are going to get the best results for you, aren't you? You're going to see results in every aspect, not just from your fitness, the way you look, how you feel, and your strength levels. You really need to be following the program.
Yeah. And definitely take your rest days of the weekend, definitely
Yes.
2 days worth of rest of the weekend, because that's just as important as
Absolutely.
doing the exercise.
Right, guys, I hope you had fun, and we've got 1 day left tomorrow of
One
the
day
squat
to go.
program. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Take care, guys. Well done.